As the Las Vegas Raiders gear up for the 2025 NFL season, one of the biggest challenges they face is strengthening their offensive playmakers. Right now, when you look at the Raiders' running backs and wide receivers, the situation doesn't inspire much confidence. If this is the group heading into the season, I can't say I'd have any faith in their playoff hopes. I know some fans may still hold out hope, but after years of high expectations and disappointing outcomes, it's tough to stay optimistic until they prove it on the field. And this is a critical year, though, and the Raiders have made significant moves this offseason, clearly signaling they're all in on making a playoff run. Coaches Pete Carroll and John Spy have both emphasized the urgency, and even Max Crosby's contract is structured to push for success in the next 2 to 3 years before it becomes a tradable deal. Max has been open about his desire to win now and avoid a long rebuild. But for the Raiders to compete, they need to revamp their running back and wide receiver units. When you look at the current running back depth, it's not encouraging. Raheem Mostert, while a veteran, is past his prime, and despite success a couple of years ago, he struggled last season. He's joining a team with a new offensive scheme, and it's unclear if this system will suit him as well as his previous teams did. Right now, he stands as the Raiders' best option at running back, and that's a big concern. Looking at the rest of the group, Zamir White and Santi McCormick don't inspire hope for the long-term future. Dylan L., while a possible breakout candidate, still has to prove himself in his second year. The reality is, if the Raiders are serious about winning now, they must find a running back that can be a game-changer for the offense. Before diving deeper into the latest Raiders news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Let's move on to more exciting updates. The Las Vegas Raiders aren't just missing a strong running back, they also need a wide receiver who can truly change the game. Right now, the wide receiver group feels average. There's just not enough firepower. Jacoby Myers is the only dependable option, and even he isn't the kind of player who can take a short catch and turn it into a long touchdown. He's reliable, smart, and consistent, but he's not explosive. He's not the guy who makes defenses panic. And outside of Jacoby, it's all question marks. Brock Bowers might be a future star, but he hasn't played a single NFL snap yet. Michael Mayer has potential, but hasn't shown enough. Trey Tucker, he's fast, but hasn't proved anything either. That's a lot of maybes, and not a lot of sure things. The truth is, if the Raiders want to be taken seriously this season, they need to find a real difference maker. Someone who brings speed, big plays, and the ability to scare defenses. Whether that's through the draft or free agency, the time to act is now. They can't wait until training camp. These next 6 to 12 weeks are critical. If the Raiders can land a top wide receiver before the draft or find a valuable free agent, it gives them more options when they're on the clock. They'll have flexibility, and that's exactly what smart teams create. But one thing's for sure, settling for average at wide receiver won't cut it in 2025. It's time to aim higher. The Raiders have a huge decision to make, and they can't afford to get it wrong. In the upcoming draft, wide receiver is a clear need, but here's the challenge. Not every draft class gives you that guaranteed superstar. There's no Jamar Chase sitting at the top this year. That makes picking the right guy even harder. If the Raiders use the 6th overall pick on a wide receiver, that player needs to deliver immediately. No waiting, no maybe in a year or two. He has to make an impact from day one. But that's risky, because not all top prospects are ready to be stars right away. Some names are floating around as possible picks, but truthfully, it's hard to say if any of them are truly worth the 6th pick. And if the Raiders decide to wait and grab a wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round, chances are they'll end up with a player who isn't ready to start yet. That's a problem, because the Raiders aren't building for the future. They're pushing to win now. So what's the plan? Some believe the smarter move might be to take a top running back early, someone who can give the offense immediate energy. Then come back in later rounds and hope a good wide receiver drops. There's also the possibility of flipping that strategy. Take a wide receiver first, then go after a running back later. Either way, the Raiders must find playmakers, not just role players. This draft isn't about being patient. It's about getting the right talent who can help the Raiders make a serious playoff run this season. Let's talk about a dream scenario for the Raiders, one that's unlikely but not impossible. There's a small chance that Travis Hunter, the dynamic wide receiver everyone's been talking about, could actually fall to the Raiders at number 6. Yes, it's a long shot, but crazy things happen during draft night. Teams chasing quarterbacks, corners, or offensive tackles could shake up the board. And if that happens, Hunter might still be sitting there when it's the Raiders' turn. If that opportunity comes, the Raiders must pounce. Travis Hunter isn't just another good receiver, he's a game changer, the kind of player who can instantly change the look of this offense. Now, if the Raiders are lucky enough to grab him, the second round opens up another door: running backs. This draft is packed with them. Explosive, powerful, elusive, take your pick. There's real depth in this class, and many of these backs are being overlooked. But don't let the rankings fool you. We've seen it before. A name slips down the board, and then suddenly, he's the breakout star of the year. For example, there's talk of a few backs going high, top 10, maybe top 20. But there are also guys flying under the radar who might be just as good, if not better. Some of them remind scouts of former Raiders stars. Players with that aggressive running style, the kind that doesn't go down easy and keeps the chains moving. The point is this: the Raiders have options. Great ones. But it all depends on getting the first move right. Whether it's Hunter or another top weapon, the goal has to be the same: bring in playmakers who can make an impact immediately. Let's be real. The Raiders are staring down a major problem in the backfield. The current depth at running back just isn't good enough. But here's the good news. This draft class is overflowing with underrated talent at the position. There are backs who've flown under the radar for all sorts of reasons: injuries, transfers, lack of spotlight, but their talent is undeniable. Some guys put up monster numbers in college, others turned heads in key showcase games. And while many teams might overlook them, the Raiders can't afford to make that mistake. This might be the year where it actually makes sense for the Raiders to double dip at running back. Take one in the second round, then come back again in the fourth or fifth. That strategy could result in not one, but 2 backs better than anyone currently on the roster. And it's not just the running back room that looks shaky. The wide receiver depth is equally concerning. Right now, the Raiders don't have many guys who look ready to break out. Sure, a few showed flashes in preseason, but that's not the same as producing in regular season pressure. The truth is, you can usually tell pretty early if a wide receiver is the real deal, whether he's an instant playmaker or just another name. And right now, the Raiders are filled with question marks, not answers. Players like Trey Tucker and Tyreek Mallister have potential, but are they reliable wideouts or just gadget players? This offense needs real firepower, not just hopefuls but proven playmakers or rookies with star-level upside. If the Raiders want to turn things around this season, they need to invest in players who can hit the ground running, and it starts with fixing 2 positions: wide receiver and running back. No more waiting, no more maybe. It's time to load up and build something serious. Here's where things get exciting for the Raiders. This draft could change everything. Let's say they land Travis Hunter with the 6th overall pick. Or maybe they go with Ashton Jeanty. Either way, they're not just drafting talent, they're grabbing someone who could instantly become the face of the offense. That's the kind of player who walks in and competes to be the best at his position right away. Now imagine this: pairing a guy like Hunter or Jeanty with stars already on the roster, like Brock Bowers at tight end or Paris Johnson anchoring the line. Suddenly, this offense isn't just solid, it's dangerous. With the right pick, the Raiders could walk into 2025 with arguably the best young wide receiver or running back in the league. But it doesn't stop at the first round. This draft class, it's stacked, deep, talented. A wide receiver like Kyle Williams or Luther Burden could fall into the second round. And even though second-round receivers sometimes need time to develop, this class is different. Many of these guys are built to start early. Across the board, running backs, defensive tackles, edge rushers, you're looking at starting-caliber players everywhere. We could easily see 10 or more defensive linemen in the first few rounds. The same goes for running backs and edge rushers. That means options. Real, quality options will still be there when the Raiders are back on the clock. Now, while the spotlight is on the draft, the Raiders have quietly made some moves to strengthen the foundation. They've brought back 5 exclusive rights-free agents, names that won't make headlines but add value and depth to the roster. Matthew Butler, linebacker Kanai Maga, Jordan Meredith, Charles Snowden, and Sam Webb are all staying put. These aren't blockbuster names, but they're familiar faces, and that matters. The Raiders are building something, piece by piece, and this draft might just be the cornerstone. Let's talk about 2 names on the Raiders roster who might just surprise everyone this offseason: Matthew Butler and Sam Webb. Now, the Raiders could have easily moved on from both. No one would have blinked. But they didn't, and that tells us something. Take Matthew Butler. He came out of Tennessee with real upside. For most of college, he was just okay, but in his 5th year, something clicked. He started showing flashes of power, awareness, and disruptive potential that got scouts talking. The Raiders took a chance grabbing him in the 5th round. Since then, it's been a mixed bag. Not bad, but not quite breakout either. He hasn't shown the kind of instant spark Malcolm Kuntze had, who, let's be honest, looked like a star right out of the gate. But Butler has had his moments. And when a player sticks around for this long, when coaches choose to keep him, it's usually because they still see something worth developing. This preseason could be do or die for Butler. The defensive tackle rotation is crowded, and competition will be fierce. But if he can finally put it all together, Butler might become a key part of this defense. Then there's Sam Webb, a name some fans might overlook, but the coaching staff hasn't. He's been with the Raiders through every year of Patrick Graham's system. That consistency matters. Webb knows the scheme, and he's flashed just enough ability to stick around. At 6 feet 2 inches, 200 pounds, he fits exactly what this defensive staff looks for in a corner. He's long, physical, and built to battle on the outside. And let's not forget, corners often take time to develop. Webb may still be finding his rhythm, but the Raiders believe in his upside. This could be the year things come together for both Butler and Webb. It's not about star power yet. It's about opportunity. And in a competitive training camp, these 2 are names to watch. As the draft approaches, all eyes should be on Sam Webb and his potential growth. He's a natural fit for the Raiders' defense, and with his size and skill set, this could finally be the year he breaks out. Webb has consistently shown flashes of what he's capable of, and now it's all about him seizing the moment. The Raiders have given him the opportunity, and this offseason will be crucial for him to prove he belongs as a key contributor on this defense. Moving on, there's a new name emerging in the mix that could have major implications for the Raiders: Ashton Jeanty, the running back out of Boise State. Here's why this is getting interesting. Reports are surfacing that the Bears are enamored with Ashton Jeanty. ESPN's Matt Miller has shared that scouts around the league, including those from Chicago, have been actively tracking Jeanty's progress. The Bears may be eyeing him at pick number 10 if he's still available. Now, what does this mean for the Raiders? It's all about strategy. The Raiders might have to act fast if Jeanty's stock continues to rise. Why? Because Jeanty is not just any running back. He's a difference maker. With the potential to be a top-tier player in the NFL, the Raiders need to decide if this is the year to make a bold move at running back, especially if Jeanty slips through the cracks and lands into another team's hands. The draft is full of uncertainty, but if the Raiders can lock down a guy like Jeanty, and with all the buzz surrounding him, it could change the entire dynamic of their backfield. The competition is heating up, and this could be the year the Raiders make a game-changing decision. There's a lot of buzz surrounding Ashton Jeanty, and it's not just coming from the Bears. While Chicago's interest in Jeanty is making waves, the Raiders are in a prime position to make a big move. In fact, Raiders GM Dave Ziegler was seen at Boise State's Pro Day, meeting with Jeanty and making it clear that they are keeping a close eye on him. This adds another layer to the potential trade discussions. The Raiders are sitting at pick 6, but if they want to trade back, the growing interest in Jeanty might make it the perfect opportunity. A team like the Bears, who might be desperate to secure a talent like Genti, could be willing to trade up to pick 6 to ensure they get him. Moving back to pick 10 could still give the Raiders access to top-tier talent. Names like Tetro McMillan, Kyle Williams, or even Luther Burden might still be on the board at that point. This could also provide an extra pick, a second or third rounder, which could be crucial for the Raiders to continue building their roster. The idea of trading back could be a win-win. With the depth of this draft class, the Raiders could land a future star in a later round, whether it's a wide receiver, running back, or even a defensive tackle. There are so many quality options available, and the Raiders have the chance to position themselves wisely. Ultimately, the Raiders must decide what's best for their future. If a game-changing player like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter is available, they should seize the opportunity. But if not, trading back and collecting more assets could be just as beneficial. This draft is full of possibilities, and the Raiders are in a strong position to make the right move.